Mina, thank you so much for joining me for coffee today.
Sure, girl. Happy to be here. Is that a baby bump? Are you pregnant?
Mina, I'm not pregnant. I'm just bloated. I know we've all been through that uncomfortable situation before. And when you're bloated, not only do you feel really disgusted, lethargic, but you also look like you're 5 months pregnant. And that's why today we're going to be answering these questions. What is bloating? Is it the same as belly fat? What causes bloating? And most importantly, how can I get rid of bloating? For those of you new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Tumi and I'm all about helping women become fit, strong, and healthy. Now, if that's something you're interested in, why not click that subscribe button, join the family, and let's do this together. I want you to imagine blowing up a balloon really big. That's kind of what happens in our tummies when we experience bloating. And it can make you feel really full, puffy, and sometimes it even hurts. As many of you will agree, it's a really uncomfortable position to be in. So let's talk about why bloating happens. The exact cause may vary from person to person, but I'm going to list some of the major culprits for you and hopefully you can relate with one or two. The most common reason is gas. When we eat or drink, naturally we swallow small amounts of air. So this air gets trapped in our intestines, which then causes a buildup of gas and in turn leads to bloating. Another major culprit is food intolerance. So some people may be intolerant to certain foods, and as a result, our stomachs can't digest them easily. For example, you have people who are lactose intolerant. They get bloated when they eat dairy products like milk, cheese. It happens to me sometimes. And there are so many other types of common foods that cause bloating, but I'm going to go deeper into that shortly, so make sure you keep watching this video. Other common causes of bloating are constipation, hormonal changes. For a lot of us women, it happens during our period. It's the default, we expect it. And then there's digestive issues such as irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, Crohn's disease, celiac disease, and then you have certain type of medications which have bloating as a side effect. Now let's talk about the obvious and not so obvious foods that tend to get us bloated. We all know that if we eat junk food, drink carbonated drinks, or eat very heavily processed foods, there's a high tendency for bloating to occur. But what if you're someone who eats seemingly healthy foods, you portion control, but bloating still seems to rear its ugly head? Well, guess what? Some foods that we actually think are healthy can be common culprits for bloating. First up are cruciferous vegetables. So these are vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, which I love. And I'm sure you're thinking, why on earth will eating something healthy cause bloating? I know, I'm wondering the same thing as well. You eat unhealthy, problem. You eat healthy, problem. Everywhere, problems. So what are we supposed to do, guys? But I'm going to tell you why. The reason is because these vegetables contain a complex carbohydrate called raffinose, which unfortunately makes it difficult for some people to digest. Next, we have legumes such as lentils, beans, chickpeas, and these foods tend to be high in fiber, which is a great thing, but again, some people find it difficult to digest. Then you have dairy products, which I mentioned earlier, like milk, cheese, ice cream, I know, but because you're lactose intolerant, you get bloated when you eat these foods. You also have fructose, which is a type of sugar found in fruits, vegetables, and artificial sweeteners. So be very wary of things like Diet Coke, diet this, diet that. They all contain artificial sweeteners. So does bloating mean you've gained a ton of belly fat? The answer is no. In certain instances, you might weigh yourself while you're bloated and notice that you've gained a few pounds. Now, that extra weight on the scale is oftentimes excess water. And in some cases, it might be the weight of the food that you just ate that same day or the night before. Bloating is a temporary condition. Belly fat, on the other hand, is a buildup of excess fat over a long period of time. So if you're thinking you've gained weight after eating just one meal, it's not true. It's most likely bloat and it will go away eventually. Belly fat is more of a reflection of your lifestyle and it doesn't just happen overnight because you had one indulgent meal. Now, mind you, these two conditions can coexist, but they are not the same thing. So now that you have all this information about what bloating is, the types of food that cause bloating, What can we do to get rid of bloating? I gave you guys a list of the common foods that cause bloating, but does that mean you have to cut these out of your diet? The answer is no. Our bodies are all unique and different. So even though eating broccoli may cause bloating for me, it may not do the same for you. And that's why it's super important to keep a food diary. So what I like to do is for maybe a period of 2 weeks, I write down everything I eat, what time I ate, how the foods made me feel, and by doing this, I'm able to identify the exact foods that cause my bloat, and then maybe avoid them or possibly limit them in your diet. But at least you know the reason you're bloated. It's not just some mystery like, oh my God, here we go again. The next tip is to slow down when you're eating. When you eat too quickly, it can cause you to swallow air, which in turn leads to bloating. So take your time, guys. I know it's harder said than done. Wait, what did I just say? Harder said than... Easier said than done. You also want to be drinking enough water because when you're dehydrated, you can get constipated, which in turn leads to bloating. Walking is also another quick and effective way to get rid of bloating. So if possible, after every meal, try and go for a 10-minute walk. This just helps to get things moving and it also aids digestion. And if you don't like walking, I got you. There's certain type of yoga poses or stretches that you can do that help stimulate the muscles in your intestinal tract, which can help ease bloating. You know, when you do the child's pose, all the gas, all that air just comes out, it releases, and this can help ease the bloating and make you feel better. For natural remedies, my go-to is mint or chamomile tea. I find that it helps relax my intestinal muscles and I get such an instant relief once I take them. So stay away from those flat tummy teas or those ones that just make you poop uncontrollably. That's not the kind of solution we need for this problem. Most times you just end up feeling worse. Probiotics have also been shown to help with bloating and overall gut health because it helps restore a balance of good bacteria that we actually need in our guts. And you can find them in many common places like your local drugstore or your pharmacy. You also want to avoid chewing gum when you're bloated. For whatever reason, I used to think that gum actually helps my bloat, but it actually worsens the situation because when you chew gum, you tend to swallow more air. And finally, if you're experiencing bloating that is persistent, chronic, or accompanied by other symptoms, then it may be worthwhile having a discussion with your doctor so that you can rule out any underlying health conditions that may be contributing to your bloating. So guys, that's all I have for today's video. I hope it's been useful and informative. If you too suffer from bloating, please let me know in the comment section, and also be kind to share any tips or tricks that has worked for you. You never know, you may be helping someone else out there who's experiencing the same thing. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to smash the like button and subscribe for more value content like this. Remember, I believe in you, you are stronger than you think, and I'll see you in the next one.